So I'm just trying because first of all, last time I used the front camera to film and it wasn't that great because probably it's just worse than the back of my iPhone, and I can't find a way to put my high quality camera here. So I guess we are going to try this. I tried to put my iPhone somewhere with the back camera, but I have no idea if it's relatively nicely put. I hope so. Maybe I'm just talking. I hope it's recording. So we'll see. We'll see. So what? Oh shit. Check. Better, maybe. So I guess. Anyway, what we are going to do today? We are going to do a new session. And something very funny that I have learned by watching the last session. And actually that's something I really struggle with, and we will see how I deal, because I should not watch my session, what I'm recording at. Maybe I should just do the edit, but after that I shouldn't watch it, because that gives me too much feedback. I tend to change everything in my swing, even though now that I'm more confident about my technique, I think I'm going to be more resilient. But I'm still struggling with, and that's something I need to work on, because over the long run, what I need to do is watch the camera to make sure everything is in the same place over and over. And but unfortunately, until now, every time I do watch, I only see the issue in my swing, and I want to change everything. So yeah, I need to be able to find a place of consistency where, when I watch the camera, when I watch the video of my swing, is just to make sure it's in the right place. And if it's not, adjust, but don't change. Just in terms of sensation. So I don't know. Anyway, so one of the few interesting things is, at some point, you don't know if you remember, but I did, just for fun, some long drive technique, and I didn't watch myself for a very long time, so I didn't know what it would look like. And to my surprise, actually the backswing wasn't that long, because in the past I had the issue of going too long with my backswing, and I really struggled to reduce. But what I found is, actually I have progressed. So I don't know if it's because I'm stronger now, maybe I have less room of motion, but it wasn't that long. And so what I realized is, maybe because when I do my long drive kind of backswing, what I do is I turn as much as I can, I go as high and as long as I can. I allow my wrist to fold as much as possible. But what if I do everything but folding my wrist? Then actually I do a very long backswing, very high rotation backswing, and that can actually increase my speed. So that's what we are going to test. I'm going to try to make the biggest backswing I possibly can, while not necessarily using my wrist that much during the backswing. Maybe in the transition, then I can increase the lag, but not until then. And the idea is simple, is maybe that will allow me to generate more power without putting more effort, because this is what I'm looking for during this winter. Last winter I did speed training, but I was focused only on max effort, and to do that I have changed a lot my technique to be able to produce more force into the golf swing, which was very interesting. I learned a lot from that. But what I realized is the biggest gain I made were from actually improving the efficiency of my swing and getting stronger in the gym. So given that, this winter I'm going to focus only on that. Keep getting stronger. I have some benchmark I need to reach, and on the swing part, going session where I'm going to do mainly two things. First, of course, work on the efficiency of my swing to be able to transfer the energy better to the club. so I don't put more energy into it, but I'm getting faster. That's the first thing. And then the idea is to exhaust my muscle fibers that I'm using by default, because I believe that after training for years, your body tend to be lazy, especially given how complex the golf swing is, and you tend to use the same muscle fiber over and over. What I mean by that is, for instance, if we take the example of your biceps, you would use maybe a fraction, 10-20% of all the muscle fibers you have available. I don't know if that's true. Honestly, that's just an intuition for me. I don't know if that's true, but that's kind of how I feel it. And so what I want is I want to exhaust those muscle fibers to force my nervous system to use more of them, because you can produce your max effort, but if you're only using 10% of your muscle fiber available, well, you can that's just inefficient. So that's a good thing to get stronger in the gym, but you also need to use all your muscle fiber available. So how you do that is mainly by eating shit ton of ball at once, not over a week, at once. Last session we ate 238 balls, I believe, if I remember correctly. So what I felt happened, so during the session I exhausted those muscle fiber, but actually what's funny is, yes, maybe I forced my nervous system to use other muscle fiber, but also I have overused the one I tend to use often, and so I create disruption, and so I was sore as fuck the day after, because I've created a lot of disruption in those fibers that I tend to overuse. But that's okay. That's mainly, I believe, what we are going to see is as I'm doing that, as I'm exhausting the muscle fiber I tend to use often, of course those are going to get destroyed, but that's the point, because then I'm forcing my nervous system to use more of them. Anyway, so that's the idea of making a bigger backswing is really the key here, because to get faster, you need to understand that that's more about a lot of little subtle things that you don't necessarily have in mind at the beginning, or that you are not necessarily aware. And some things that I keep remind myself when I see my golf swing is, at the top of my backswing, I don't feel like my hands are very high. And when you see all the long driver and so on, and even Rory McIlroy that doesn't have a long backswing in terms of overswinging, but his hands are still very high. He used to, because I'm not sure it's still the case, because it had a little bit of time where he changed his technique and to get this kind of his hand a little lower. I don't know why, but for the majority of his career, he had his hand pretty high at the top of his backswing, and so this gave him leverage. And so maybe that's just what I'm missing. So that's first key during the backswing. So I'm going to try to go as high as possible, rotate as much as possible, without necessarily. I don't want to create an overswing. I don't want to get my club going too much too long, but I want to get as much motion as I possibly can, because the more motion, the more width you create, more power you get. That's the basics. And there is another thing that I kind of realize, because one of the things I told you is when I hit hard on my left leg, I have a hard time hitting hard. I need to consciously do it. And so what I realize is maybe that's because I'm already under tension on my right leg. I'm in tension on my right leg while I'm trying to push on my left leg, and so that creates kind of a mismatch in terms of balance. I don't know how to explain it, but anyway, what I realize is and also there is a quicker way to actually get the leg to fire faster if the first thing you do in the transition is actually relaxing the tension in your right leg, like you're folding your right leg. What happens is you're forced. So as your weight start transitioning towards the left, if you fold, you completely relax the tension in your right leg to the point or where your right heel start lifting off the ground, what happens is you're forced to put pressure on your left leg, because if you don't, you just fall, and that's the way to get tension on your left leg much faster, because reflexes sorry, because in English I don't know the scientific terms, but there is the reflexes, the way they work is an internal thing. That a reflex happens without going through the brain. It happens locally, and so if you are putting your body in a situation where it needs by reflex to get under the left leg under tension, then you don't have to consciously do it. By reflexes, your left leg will get under tension and start pushing off the ground. So yeah, that's I know that's a little bit complex to understand, but the idea is if the first thing you do when you start shifting your weight to the left leg is by actually relieving the tension of the right leg, what happens is naturally you will be able to push off the ground with the left leg as hard as you want, because the tension has transferred to the left leg. So it's just that I'm starting understanding that to get tension on the left leg is not about pushing with the left leg, it's about relieving the tension in the right leg, so the pressure naturally shift to the left leg, and that way then you can hit the left leg as hard as you want, but because the tension, the momentum have shifted towards the left, you're fine. And that's kind of the thing I want to really go in deep in this session. So in the backswing, go as high as I can, and starting the transition by actually relieving the right leg rather than actually pushing hard with the left leg. So transition, I relieve, and then downswing, this is where I explode up with, I believe, both legs, where previously what I was doing is actually pushing with my left leg first, and then actually trying to push with my right leg. But if I delay the left leg push, at least the conscious push of my left leg, maybe I need to do right and left leg at the same time during the downswing. Anyway, I start rumbling. Let's get training. So, lot of try and error, I don't know. We'll see how that works. First of all, I'm not sure well, yep, better. So I've changed the lens. I believe it's more higher quality, this one, but I don't know. That's a try, we'll see. So it's running, I believe the audio is okay. So, well, we are almost good to go. Now we need to start the TrackMan. So what we are going to do is something a bit special. We're going to put the front camera, and you will be responsible for the down the line, and the other camera will see on the TrackMan how it looks. Anyway. So I'm aligned more left than last time, because I believe we hit a little too much trees last time. So fuck, I can't actually get it right, or whatever. It's not completely dark, so I might be able to align it correctly. But we need to hurry up a little bit. So I still my music on, but maybe I'm going to stop. Yeah, let's stop it. It's going to distract me. Talking is enough distraction, actually. And the microphone, even though it's a little further from my mouth, because also in the video I hear that there is a lot of nose sound because it's very cold here, so I'm going to try to avoid them, but sorry in advance. Those, I mean. I'm going to try to breathe with my mouth rather than my nose to make the experience a little more enjoyable. So let's connect to the TrackMan. Yeah, we are figuring things out, and also having your comments. If you have anything to comment, don't hesitate. This is going to help me understand what you care and what you actually don't give a F, let's say. What do you catch? And also I bought a new microphone because this one with the cable is really annoying. So I found one that is very awesome. I believe that's the same than Sam Sulek. I believe that's his name, is using, and he's making those videos that actually for a while, even though that for 2024 I almost didn't post anything. I mean, create content because I had a lot of things that were late anyway. So, but the type of content he make is actually the type of content I wanted to make like 2 or 3 years ago, where I started recording from my car and making more a little bit feedback videos where I talk through as I'm doing, but I didn't do on the practice range, or maybe I did, but it wasn't like voiceover afterward, not in real time. And on the golf course, I may have done some voiceover a little bit, but it wasn't real time like this. And what I like about what Sam Sulek did do is actually he proved to me that this is possible to make it work like this, because that was kind of the thing that I wasn't really sure about. Where okay, wait a minute, I try to align it correctly. Yes, so that was one of the things. Even though the idea of doing it, I didn't know how to make it work, to make it interesting and entertaining. So, but he proved that actually something you can do. This is actually totally possible to grow an audience to multiple millions of people with some basic video. But what's interesting is he's making so much little things that are actually what make it interesting. Yes, here we go. TrackMan start now. So yes, what's interesting to me is so you make it work with a very simple basic things that I wanted to do, but not everybody can do what it does, because there is some things that I can do that most people might not be able. And when you are trying to grow on social media and create a presence, this is about playing to your strength. And one of my strengths, I believe, even though I might need to progress on it, is I can talk a lot of things just on top of my mind, like I'm doing right now. I don't need a script, I'm just rambling. That might be interesting, but that's also where, so if you struggle with that, to improvise, to just talk things through, and you need a script, well, the way Sam Sulek is doing is not the way you should produce content. But if that's something can be done, then you need to understand why it makes it work. And there is a few reasons why, and I believe those reasons I can actually apply to golf. Because one of the few things is he's really good at what he does. And he's a freak show in terms of physics, but that's another story. So being really good at what you do, you have a lot of interesting things to share just on top of your mind. And I've been doing golf for so long, and I start reaching some level of mastery. I'm far away from having reached the level I want, but yet I can actually have a lot of interesting things, I believe, to share. Anyway, so let's just eat a few balls, and I'm going to set up the front camera, and we'll go up. We'll move on from there. So let's. Something very interesting with me. I know that's the case for you, but when I think about a new technique, I think so much about it that actually I'm changing my neural pattern just by visualizing the swing. So I have think so much about the change. I talked to you in the car that currently my brain doesn't know how to swing it efficiently. So that's what we are. Because so we want high backswing, then relieve the tension and shoot. And also that's something I thought is maybe we are not going to spend that much time on the iron anymore, because I have made so much change that first I need to consolidate them with the driver. So before actually figuring out how to make it work with the irons, because the biggest change are coming with the driver, given that the club I want to gain the most speed. So, and if I'm not able to make it work for now with the iron, that's okay. But let's try to prime the motion with the iron so I can do it better with the driver. So let's try to go to really high and release the tension and bang. Okay, felt nice. A little higher. Okay, 87. Pushy. So when I release, it's about throwing the right, sorry. And also something that I realize is, okay, to be able to get high, I need to kind of extend my right leg, my right shoulder up like this. But to do that, I need pressure. And what I found is actually the thing I was doing by shifting my weight to the right is fine, but I was doing too passively. It's like almost I relax into it. Where what I need to do is actually push with my left leg and resist with my right. That way given that I'm resisting, I'm creating tension in my right leg that I can use to actually grow taller in the backswing to then come back to the downswing. It's kind of the thing are going through my mind currently. So let's push with that right leg. That's kind of inefficient because I'm not sure how to come back in the downswing, but we're getting slowly faster. Let's go on a little more. Let's try to at least reach let's try to throw that right hip through. Okay, 90, not bad. I'm not sure exactly where things are, but guys, that's okay. yes, I forgot. I need to hit my left leg once the transition is over and that I've released. So that's kind of the point here. So here, big, then you relax the right leg, you flex it like this, you flex it and relax it, the left heel going off the ground. You have no more tension here, so the tension completely go toward the left feet. And then once you're here, you can actually explode up. Let's try that. That's kind of weird, but we are faster. We are faster. And I'm doing dead straight shots. That's not that bad either. Okay, 91. Okay, that's good. Let's not eat too much. Okay, 91, that's not as fast as we want it to be. But as I said, we are more interested in what my swing look like with driver. So let's do a few 6 iron, then we move on to 5 wood and then the driver. 6 iron, let's go. So, tall, and then relax and explode up. Okay, 94.4, that's not that bad for first swing. I'm honestly amazed to how straight I'm hitting them. That's oh yes, also something I forgot is when I relax I need to keep my upper body everything in my downswing basically there. I need to try to focus on the lower body then. Oh sorry for that. I forgot I need to breathe with my mouth, not my nose, because the nose sound is awful. Okay, almost 95. Is that we are not at the point yet, but because that changed so much the dynamic in my swing that I've kind of struggling to know how to be efficient. But what's interesting is even though I'm not efficient at all, because I'm kind of discovering this new pattern, I'm still relatively fast. So that's a good point here. Okay. So up. Try to go even longer with my backswing. Not very comfortable, especially with an iron. And also something that I find is more than just relaxing the right leg. It's like almost I'm turning my right leg that way to allow my hips to move forward. And so when I relax, it's almost like I'm throwing the right hip forward by turning my right leg outward like that. And so as soon as I start to release, the release is actually a throwing motion of the hip. I'm throwing the hip forward, and then once the hip cannot go more forward, it's like the whip motion I've talked about last time, where you throw the hip, then once the hip cannot move forward, this is the shoulder that is moving, then the elbows and the hands and the club. And yeah, that's kind of the sensation I'm looking for here. I'm not there, but let's try a few like that. Yeah, kind of feel weird. I might need a couple sessions to actually get used to it, because yeah, I'm not. Yeah, there is so much thing I need to think about. But what we established is the vertical aspect. Once I release the tension and then I explode up, is what allow me to gain the most speed. When I do everything else, throwing the right hip and so on is fine, but that's maybe not what's going to generate the most speed, at least with the iron. We'll see with the driver. Okay, that's it. That's it with the 6 iron. As I said, we want to do driver today. Driver. Let's set up. Where are you? Actually, I realized that maybe I don't have the power in my phone. 55 should do it. Let's hit a few 5 wood. And see how it goes. Okay. But if there is any one of you here, because I believe that most likely I'm speaking to myself currently, leave in the comment the experience, if there is things that you like, what you dislike, anything. Feel free. So yeah, maybe I don't have the depth here to put the camera there. That's annoying. Yeah. Anyway, I'll see that later. So, push with the left leg, then move up. Die. Yeah, I know, I make some weird sound. Felt a little more compression, not necessarily faster. Let's try to throw that right hip a little faster. Oh, fuck you. I'm moving way too much forward. And that's one of the things is relaxing normally. We've talked a lot about having the hand moving a lot further. And here you can see 9.5. It just means that my body is moving too much forward. If I can relax my right leg like this, I'm going to stay behind and allow my arm to actually move in the right direction. So yeah, once I'm here, boom. There we go. Little more in plane, but still four club path. If I'm pushing it, it means the club face is still too much open compared to the club path. Oh yes, I forgot to actually keep the upper body locked at the top. Okay, that's interesting. Club pass not that much inside by the fact that I locked my upper body. That's a long one. The compression is way higher given the speed. So we are still low on speed, but it's kind of interesting because I'm putting way less effort than the previous session. Given mainly the main reason is because I'm doing new things, so I'm struggling to go at it. Okay, 105. 105. And almost 155 ball speed. That's also something interesting here. I'm getting more and more ball speed with my 5 wood. That's kind of new, this one. Okay, that's interesting. Now I'm getting a little more comfortable with the motion. I'm slowly getting up on speed without putting more effort. In fact, that's almost the opposite. I'm relaxing more and more. I'm getting faster and faster. Interesting. There we go. It's honestly more than decent. I have no idea how to actually go faster. Because it's almost like I'm just moving things around slowly and it's just happened. And here I activated my upper body and I fuck things up. So only thing might be the push up that we talked about with the iron. Maybe that's the only thing that can actually allow me to swing a little faster, but I need to do everything perfectly in the transition. There we go, 106. So yeah, that's... But maybe if I do it too soon, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to pull it left. So I need to throw the right hip and extend. Okay. Fuck you. I didn't keep the upper body still. Okay, so now it's the time. Are we moving on to the driver? Or I mean, the 5 wood and 3 wood, that's okay because the motion is way more like what I'm doing with the driver. So if I do a few more, that shouldn't be that bad. Mainly because with the iron at the beginning, I'm opening my face, and with the wood, I'm actually almost closing it. And the reason is because the center of mass here, you can see, all the mass is on the right of the head. So it's, you kind of want to go down that way much faster. And given the fact that the plane is more flat, this weight is getting a lot more force, let's say. Where when you are moving on a vertical plane, like with the wedges, even though maybe there is some force left here, because it's more vertical, it has more effect, let's say, on the swing. And also, iron wedge, or kind of the exception, because the wedge has still a lot of loft, so that there's still a lot of mass that can push here. But when you are getting to, for instance, 4 iron, you can see that there isn't much weight on this side, so you can almost balance it, and so the dynamic in the backswing is going to be completely different. And but that's okay, because with irons you can, that's kind of balancing, because the club face is getting more, closer and closer, so there is less mass on that side, but also the plane is getting flatter and flatter, so that kind of counterbalance itself. Where it's make a very big difference is actually with the wood, because the weight is enormously on that side, so that tend to want to open the club face a lot more, and the swing plane is extremely flat compared to wedges, for instance. And so that's why what I want to do when I'm getting the club started is actually I'm closing the club face to get the center of mass almost over the shaft, or even slightly left to the shaft, so it at least affect less the plane of the swing. So that kind of makes it very different sensation, because directly in the backswing I get the feeling that my club face is shut compared to the path, where with the iron I get the opposite feeling. I get the feeling that my club face is open to the path directly at the beginning. So anyway, that's the kind of why behind what I do. Let's try to smash one. Yeah. I'm not very comfortable yet, but that's 105, which isn't worse, given the fact that I've changed a lot of things in my dynamic from the last session to now. That's not that bad. And let's say if I try to really go really long in my backswing, and I'm not sure I'm going, that's not that great, but yeah, I went as long as I possibly can and almost nothing. One of the things I didn't do is actually, okay, I'm getting width here, but when I'm relaxing my left leg, this is also about building the lag, so you can then release it. And that I absolutely not do. This is something I kind of struggle to feel. Well, okay, I guess that's okay for now. Let's move on to the driver, given that facts. The club I want to get faster with. And one of the things I want you to keep in mind, to watch, is if, but maybe you're let's just move it up a little bit like this. because the key things that I'm looking for in my swing, and maybe a little right as well, left for you, like this. Okay. Oh, so yeah, still working. Because one of the things that the reason why I found this idea of having the club face a little close to have a better center of mass is because when I do it neutral, I tend to have my swing path, my club that goes like this. Whereas I told you, with the driver, you want kind of the club to be pointing that way. So when you go down, the swing direction is that way to be able to come more from the inside. But because you are hitting up on the ball, you are not coming that much from the inside. That kind of the deal. So me, what I want when I'm at the top is actually having the club not perfectly in line, but slightly right across the line. Slightly, not too much, but slightly. And that's the main issue I have in my swing. Generally, when things start getting bad, is because I'm not doing that very well. Up. And we'll see because you will see immediately if I'm generally when I'm not doing it right, the swing direction is somewhere less than 10. But if I'm doing right, normally I'm having the club slightly pointing right, I'm going to have a swing gear above 10, which is what I'm looking for. So let's hit a few balls and try to apply everything that I have done, and just trying smooth, not going too much after it for now. So here we start closing the club face, we move up as much as we possibly can, and then we okay, but I kind of got the feeling of lagging down. Actually, I believe with the 5 wood, I wasn't actually going far enough. So I need to go far enough, and when I'm finished, bam, lagging. I need to go as far as I possibly can in my downswing. I believe before it shut down, it was 111, which is not that bad to start. Okay, I get the feeling of lag, which is very first for me. Very, very first. And 112, I don't know if you remember last time, 112 was more on my best swing than on my worst. Even though, okay, I was tired. I was tired last time. I'm still tired, but maybe I'm recovered. I don't know. But that's at least not bad. That's the key thing. And what's even, oh sorry, shit, I forgot to change the club. Normally that shouldn't affect the reading, but let's not fuck up the data. Up, and we're going to be on speed warm-up. The warm-up is over. We change the tag. Remember, when using TrackMan, we want to use tag because tag allows us to analyze data better. With clean data, you can have clean analysis. Garbage in, garbage out. That's the key to understand. So it's important to have context with your data. So big up, lag, and throw. I'm really struggling to get the wall motion in, but that's not the point. Let's just try to do it well, and we'll see later for the contact and so on. I have 3 months to nail this down, and we'll see later about getting back to accuracy. Okay. I've hit something. Yeah, this one I feel less the lag, so I'm not as good as the first few one. But I'm getting somewhere. So let's try just to focus on the backswing for the first few. Okay, when I'm getting a good stretch in my backswing and creating good amount of lag, I get at least 112. Without much effort, actually, I'm focusing so much on the technique, the motion and so on, I'm not able to put any kind of energy into it. And so having 112 in that context, I believe it's a very good win here. Okay, we are consistent at 112. Oh, sorry. We are consistent at 112. You know what? Since that's the long drive motion that lead me to there, let's try to move backward. Instead of moving from my swing and adding a few things from my long drive swing, let's try to do my long drive swing and then move backward from there, trying to keep the speed up. So let's here we go. And I believe that's not that far away from my natural swing, this one, because I have in my mind the right motion. I'm implementing the right motion. And 114, that's really good. Because the key here is, before I didn't actually, I was going long without really knowing how to go long. I was just trying to get as long as possible. Now that I kind of understand the motion behind getting width and so on, I can try to go long, but because I'm doing the right motion, I'm not actually going that long. I'm not sure that's very clear, but so let's try. Yeah, I was kind of out of balance. And the main key here that I'm struggling with is I'm not releasing the right leg. Let's try really that long drive string, but that's a big win. I mean, I'm cruising at 112 without any effort, which is higher than what I usually do. To get to 112 usually I need I need a little bit of energy, let's say. And now if I actually try to put energy, probably the ball is going to, I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to hit the ball, but anyway. There we go. I need just a little more energy. 114. We're getting closer to 115. I can feel it. I can feel it. But that, yeah. But, and that's a big bet. 4.6. Why didn't you tell me? Swing duration 4.6. Is it only this one, or is it just recurrent over the last few swings? Meaning, yeah, it seemed to be recurrent. Okay, so I believe that's because I kind of not, because if I go here, I really go there. Normally the backswing is going to be fine, but if I start flattening the club, then the backswing is going to flat out. What I need to do is actually engage the lower body while retaining the club that way. Tack. Throwing the right hip, and then once the right hip cannot go further, then I'm throwing everything. So I believe that's what we need to do in order to get the swing direction or to the right, because that's why I'm making those pushy or shitty things. Yeah, I need to see I need to see it for myself. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to switch from there to there and put the camera here so I can see what is going on, because from face on I will not see it. So let's switch things up, and now we need to put that thing up with and I'm wondering, what are you working on speed training? What are the things that you're struggling with your swing? Is there something that you want me to share, to explain, maybe? Feel free. And don't hesitate to smash the like button, like they say. But I believe if you do like, you will like it. I don't need to ask. If you don't, you will not. That's as simple as that, I believe. Okay, so next we need my iPhone, which have 55% of battery. Okay, let's connect to the TrackMan. A little. I always forgot this. Drinking water. I was just thinking that what a nice thing it is to just take a break, but yeah, drink water, motherfucker. Okay, TrackMan. Where is TrackMan? I really try to not breathe through my nose, but that's kind of habit, let's say. I was sick, I think, 3 weeks ago, and since then I adjust my nose. That is, yeah, you know. Okay, we should be ready to go. So I need it somewhere here, up like this, having it like this, and I believe that probably not that bad. Okay, we need to try to know, actually. Let's try it. So we switch from trajectory. So from now on, I have no clue where the ball is going to go. But that's okay, we don't care. We care about speed. So let's hit one and see where the backswing is. And this is the beginning of the downfall, because okay, so the club is kind of okay at the top, but I'm moving too much outside in the takeaway. That's okay. That's something we can build, and I'm pretty happy with the top of my backswing actually. So up and more inside. Yeah, now that I start thinking about the technique, my speed is dropping like crazy. Okay, still way too... and this one was even worse. Okay. Okay, and so let's try what I was doing, just retaining the upper body during the transition, and see what that does. But what I think also, I was just I need to start setting the wrist a little more. Yeah, something I'm just thinking is maybe I'm closing the club face too much, and then I'm forced to actually unclose it almost at the top, which maybe I need to keep it more neutral during the takeaway, and then really trying to shut it as I'm finishing the downswing. Okay, I realize that I can be pretty neutral if I just retain my upper body. I can actually at that moment just close the club face. Anyway, you see why I try to not watch myself too much on camera, because I start thinking way too much, and also because the camera is not necessarily in the right plan. I don't know. Let's try to at least get takeaway right. So I try to go shorter. Doesn't seem to. Yeah, honestly, the more I look at my swings, that's really awful. The less I know what I'm doing. Yes, I probably need to face my demon and be happy with what I saw, with what I see. So, how do I do that? First, I want to see roughly my club being. Yes, this is why do professionals actually watch themselves on camera? This is to check that everything that they want to see in their swing is actually there. So for me, for instance, at the position of takeaway, I would want to know, I want to see my club face being around my head, my hands, at the same place of my hands. Let's try first that. So this is about maybe this like this. Okay. Normal speed is dropping because I'm focusing just on one thing at a time. So I actually didn't look at it. Okay, not that bad. that's really, yeah, I have no fucking clue. Oh, shut up. I'm going to be honest. What I have in mind when I see my swing, I just can't not think about Rory McIlroy swing. And so when I look at my swing, I'm thinking, okay, what's the difference between my swing and Rory McIlroy's swing? I just can't. And so what I'm thinking is actually, it's almost like he's getting wide here, wide, and then he's moving. It's almost like as soon as he finishes his takeaway, he's jumping to the left side and to actually deliver, and he finishes his backswing by doing so. So yeah, I believe that's kind of somewhere more like that. And so yeah, I need actually to finish doing what I do with my upper body, but instead of waiting to finish and get to my left side, I actually need to engage the lower body as I'm finishing. And this is how you create this motion. And actually, yeah, now that I think about it, is maybe that is I was trying to do my takeaway. Then I do big backswing. I shift and retain my upper body, but actually this is the takeaway. And as you shift, you turn and you don't retain the upper body. This is you finish the backswing as you start the downswing. As I was thinking about it, this is actually merging two motion into one. I finish my backswing as I start my downswing. This is what the transition in. But you need to start way earlier than what I'm thinking. It's almost like it starts just after the takeaway. So I kind of have the takeaway here, and then bam. But I have no clue how he's able to generate that much speed with that little width. Maybe this is just because I'm not used to generating a lot of width like this. The club is not perfect at the top. That's something we can work on. So, and okay, let's. Yeah, I feel that the club is just getting flat at the top. Yeah, because it's more maybe. Because the more I'm going to activate the lower body, the more the club is going to want to flat. So I need to actually retain it even more. So I have no clue how he's able to generate height in his backswing. Maybe this is because when you do that, he's doing that, but then he's actually getting higher. Let's try that stack and higher. Felt very weird, but that's okay. Yeah, but as soon as I do that, the club is actually not that bad, but I'm like way too much outside. How do we do that? So I basically need to get my club extremely inside. Yeah, almost. I'm going that way to then go that way as I'm shifting. Right. I know that's weird, but I guess that's what you need to do. Okay, we have 10 degrees of swing direction. Let's see the takeaway look not that bad. My hands are higher, the club is in perfect position. Okay, I guess we are onto something here. So yes, so as I'm pushing, I'm getting the club as inside as I possibly can, and then once I move to my left side, I try to get it as forward and up as I possibly can. Okay, let's. Okay. So that's for the backswing. We'll see the downswing later once the backswing is actually correct. Okay, now I'm start getting behind my head, which is behind my hand. That's something I can fix later, given the fact that my issue is mainly getting too much outside, so that's okay if I overdo it for now. But what's interesting is everything. You see, I'm getting the club across the line, so that's good. Now, so let's try to do a couple of balls just to make sure this is down and we are able to do it. Okay, I'm getting a little faster. Even though I feel horrible. Okay. So now I believe that's about what I can do looking down the line. But yeah, I know what I need to do, I just don't want to do it. So what I need to do now is not shift that camera to there, because if I do that, I will start focusing about just what I just did and start focusing on something else. What I need to do is, okay, I find something that actually kind of look good on camera and that I'm relatively happy with. So I need to consolidate that. And getting a little bit more comfortable. Once that's done, am I able to do it perfectly? Then I need to switch the camera to there. But probably on other session. I don't want to do it. My instinct really want to just get right, hit it, but let's stick to it. And just try to perfect that motion, get more comfortable with that motion. And on the next session, we will focus more on the forward, on the face-on view, which actually you're seeing. I'm not seeing it currently, so I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it. Every fiber of my being is just resisting to this idea. Because until now I was really, the issue I had until now is really, I have a compulsive desire to change my swing. Because I kind of, this is the issue when you're getting started, you get rewarded by changing your swing, because every time you change something, good things happen. But the more you progress, the more you need to realize that change, actually, this is what happens, is the more you get to your own swing, the more you get comfortable with your own swing, the more every time you do a change, this is going to take a very long time for you to adapt, get comfortable, and actually perform to your best level. But, and I am the first one to say that, because this is the first thing I'm struggling with, is as you get better, you not necessarily unlearn that first lesson of, okay, if I change something in my swing, I'm going to get good result. And that's a mistake. The professionals, the ones that are actually able to perform, are the ones that are able to unlearn that lesson and learn the new one. New is not better. You need to do the same thing over and over. You need to do it better, and you need to do it more to be more efficient and be more comfortable. But doing something new should be the solution of last resort. Really, you've hit a wall for 6 months, 1 year straight. You've tried everything to just improve on what you already have, and you don't get the result. For instance, that could be if you want to gain speed. You have maybe a core inefficiency in your swing, and no matter how strong you get, how efficient you get with your own motion, you will not overcome that inefficiency in your swing. And at that point, you need to consider the pro and con. Okay, you know by changing something, you will struggle for a while, and maybe for a very long time. There is people like Matteo Manassero that took years and years to get back to their level, and even some will consider that he's not yet back to his level he was before starting training on speed. You see that at the highest level, changing for something new is actually the worst thing you can possibly do. So what you do is you do better of what you already do, or you do more by practicing a lot more to get more comfortable. That's kind of the... And what I'm doing currently is not what you need to do, because I'm changing things. I'm doing something new. Even though that's not that far away to what I'm doing, it's tend to be more on the side of new than on the side of better. That's borderline. That's borderline. But the key here is, if I want to be able to use camera, and I believe that, especially for me that I am visual, to use that tool on a daily basis, I need to see something that I like. And until now, the issue was when I see something I don't like, and then I change everything. So let's fix it. Let's see something that I like, and be able to reproduce it over and over and over, and then I can move on to face on it. You see what I'm doing here? I'm so uncomfortable with the idea of just sticking to something and not changing the camera here that I procrastinating on just keep doing it. Oh, fuck me. So inside, then we shift to the left side, tack, creating a stretch and finishing our backswing and getting the club across the line. Let's go. So, but with the club more inside, I probably need to shift more on my right foot. Okay, club head's okay. But yeah, it's kind of, it start opening a little too much. So I want to break my shaft so bad. Not because I'm angry, I'm just resisting to this urge to move back to the face-on view. That's really horrible, but I believe that's a sticking point. If I'm able to go through it, that's what will lead me to success. So I'm not backing down. I'm going to hit all those balls from this view And that's it. Perfecting that view. Okay, like it. Yeah, or not really, no. Because that's horrible. My brain is trying to figure out how my swing is looking like from face on, so I can do it. Anyway. But I really struggle to figure out how I can get faster with that motion. Okay, the club was awful at the top. Because what's throwing my favorite die is, okay, it goes here, and then goes here, and so, okay, he's doing this during his transition, but where the key difference is when I was doing this, that was the start of my downswing. That's not the start now. This is the transition. So then, what is the start then? Start is when I'm here, I'm throwing my hip forward and creating lag, maybe. So. I believe I'm too much behind. Probably going to be able to get the club much more in plane if I keep more my angle at the top. Let's try this and this. I have no clue. I have no clue how he's generating his speed. Because there is something, he's kind of setting his club much faster than I do. Oh, maybe I'm not get my club here, but actually try to load the club here. I don't do this. Right, Okay, that's good, because I believe that the next step, the issue is I'm loading, but then I'm doing something weird. But if I can drop the club inside, because the issue is here, if I drop the club inside, the club is going to be less across the line. So I need a motion, what I've just done here, that gets the club insanely across the line, because when I'm going to, yeah, I'm sure you don't understand a thing of what I'm explaining, because I'm trying to figure that out as I'm doing, and so we load, as we shift, we load the wrist, and this is going to make it extremely across the line, and then we turn and get the club inside by flattening it out. Okay, and we have 109. Yeah, so basically I just need to get my arm stuck and close the club face as much as I possibly can on the way down, it seems. So we go here, then we set the club as we load to get it as much across the line as possible, and then I turn the hip and try to get my club stuck so I can close the club face. Okay, I'm able to get a little more speed, which we've lost over the last, I don't know, many balls. But here was exactly what I said. You see, as I'm starting to shallow the club and close the club face, the club is just dropping behind me. So I need to do both at the same time, be able to load the club vertically across the line, so much that when I'm dropping, it's actually not. Okay, I liked it. I liked it a little more. I hope it's in the right spot. But the swing starts feeling a little better progressively. A little better. But I'm still flat at the top. That's just annoying. Let's just try to force, instead of me trying to flat it out at the top, going from ear to ear, to just closing the club face with going to flat the club and more. Let's just try to load the club, but actually through the rotation, having it close, rotating so aggressively that I cannot do anything else, the club cannot do anything less than actually get closed. So which is more or less what Rory McIlroy is doing when he's swinging. He's swinging his lower body so aggressively. So you don't really care. That's not that bad. That's actually not that bad. And we have a 12.8. We have a 12.8. We start getting back on track with speed. So okay. The idea here is, don't think about the downswing with the upper body related. Just think about putting the club in the right position at the top, and then going as aggressively as possible with the lower body on the way down. And just don't think about anything else. So go here, Then we load the club and we go down with the lower body. Yeah, I activated my upper body. That's why I fucked up. Yeah, for me that's not natural to go hard with my lower body. Okay, right. Yeah, I need to be much more patient, waiting for the club to be fully loaded before I accelerate with my lower body. And here you can see how, so that's the key. I accelerated aggressively with lower body, but still not enough because the club face was open and I pushed it. So that's kind of a thing we need to work on here. Get my arm stuck, okay? What I've tried here is actually closing the club face during the loading phase. So I'm opening it, but I'm closing it after, when I'm loading it. Because, oh yeah, fuck yeah. Because, as I told you earlier, the momentum, the weight of the club want to go like this. So, but what I don't like is having my wrist kind of bowed at the position of takeaway. So what I think is, okay, maybe, and I started opening the club face, but I don't like the club face open either. But if this is a transition where you first start by opening it to get inside, to then be able to close it to get into the right plane. Actually, that makes sense. And then I can go as aggressively as I possibly can. So open, close as you load the club, and then you can go as aggressively as possible. And I'm getting the 10 that I like. The 10 swing direction. And I'm much more, okay. That's good, that's very good. Now, I can go really hard with my lower body and don't care about the club normally should get roughly on a good plane. Okay. So, the club face. Wait a minute. is roughly neutral at this point. My hands are very high, which means I have very big width, which is kind of okay, but not me. I'm setting the club. I would love to see, that's fine, but I would love to see my hand kind of a little more in front of my chest. As I said, the key issue here, I need to be able to get my club across the line each time, because there is a shit ton of things that I can do to get it more in plane. Because if I get my hand more in front of my chest, for instance, that's going to get the club more in plane, for instance. So, as I said, let's just focus on finding ways to get my club where I want in the takeaway and at the end of my backswing, and then later we'll be able to focus on other things. I know that's tough, but we can do it. We can. I will. Actually, I think I'm not going to eat those balls, because if I do, I'm going to get crazy and start doing some weird shit. So let's finish those balls, consolidating those sensations, sleep on it, come back in 1 or 2 days to go further into that direction. So we bring the club inside and open the club face, so we can then close it as we load and set the club. Okay? That kind of makes sense. And then we throw the hips through. Okay. Wow. I'm not really sure where the club was at the top. It was perfect. It's just that I'm not used to have this club perfect. But that's good. That's good. Okay. 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 And what I'm thinking is maybe also my arm get way too long. So this is here, and then boom. I should get my arm away here, not there, there. Okay, but I guess that's the idea here. And I'm roughly about where I want. Just now I need to top of the backswing is okay. Yeah, the key issue here is my hand on not dropping enough inside. So, okay, like that. That's not that bad. That's not that bad. It's just that I don't know. Okay. Oh. Just testing my microphone to see if it's working. Because I have this one that starts going up and down. I'm not sure we have left. We have long to left. Long left. I don't know how to say it. Oh, sorry. I'm thinking about it. Instead, as I'm getting my club here, instead of continuing to move up, maybe I should also start to go down. Here, try to do that, but also trying to keep it down. We'll see. To resist the momentum of the club moving up, I need to move down. So, tack, and try to get closer to my right socket. Of course, I'm reducing the length of my backswing. But it's more because I believe. Oh, the club is the hands are a little more in front of my chest, slightly. Let's look at this a little bit. Not that much. The club is roughly. What I'm thinking is my left leg stay. That's okay to extend it on during the takeaway to push to the right side, but then it needs to bend, and I don't do that. So I believe that tag and yeah, resist. Okay. That's so fucking weird. And you may ask, why the fuck do you want to imitate Rory McIlroy swing? I have no clue. It just, when I started golf, it was already 14 years ago, but after the first year, I saw Rory McIlroy win his first win. And as I was developing my swing. And the key here is I didn't want to, but we kind of have the same height, even though I believe he's slightly taller than me. We have the same hair color, we are roughly the same age. He's just 1 year older than me. And I kind of subconsciously, because that's the way I work, I'm very visual and I am able to transform what I see into sensation. And for a very long time that was difficult to me because every time I saw a swing, I kind of borrowed the sensation into me, and that was what made my swing very unstable. And so looking at Rory McIlroy's swing and just keeping that swing in mind was a way for me to have a point of reference. That way, every time I was looking at someone else's swing, I had a way to come back to something that I knew. And so I didn't really want to copy his swing, but and that what I'm explaining now is just because I'm thinking back on it, and that's my analysis. But at the time, I didn't know what I was doing. I just had this feeling of instability of my swing. Actually, I didn't know how to have a swing, and the only way I figured to to actually handle that, and all of that I think was subconscious. I wasn't really aware of it, but the only way it was actually to keep Rory McIlroy's swing on the back of my mind. And for a very long time I was actually fighting against, trying to find my own way, my own swing, to just figure out, because every time everybody says they have their own swing, and so I try to find mine. And at some point I had a coach which explained to me which actually told me, your swing look a lot like Rory McIlroy's, and I never actually told him that was the swing that I had in mind. And at some point I realized, you know what, if that's what I'm doing anyway, because after a few years I started becoming aware of the fact that I was subconsciously imitating his swing. At some point I realized, you know what, stop fighting against that. That's what you do, that's what you already do, so just embrace it and go after it. And every time I see myself on camera, that's why I struggle to actually just perform. When I see myself on camera, I cannot. For me, the swing of reference is the swing of Rory McIlroy. And if I don't see Rory McIlroy's swing when I see my swing, I think there is something wrong with my swing. That's why I didn't record anything during 2024, because I was working mainly on my swing. Not necessarily on my swing, I was focused more on performance. But yeah, I believe if I want to really get to the best level, I need to be able to see myself and be okay with what I see. And to do that, if I need to actually swing the same swing as Rory McIlroy, I guess I'm going to do it. Anyway, so yeah, that's all the things that are going through my mind. We all have our demons and challenges. Because I'm saying demon because I don't know, that's my ego. You say, well, maybe you should be happy about having a swing like Rory McIlroy. Yeah, but you need to understand that's not that easy. The swing of Rory McIlroy is Rory McIlroy's swing. There is no one on earth that can develop the same pattern or to the same degree as he did, because that's just his swing. He swing like this, and he have done for years and years and years, and he have mastered it. And so that's why I'm kind of fighting it, even though I always come back to it, because the solution would be just much more easy to just swing my swing, if only I had one. But that's kind of the struggle of my life as a golfer. I never really had a swing. I just borrowing somewhere else. So I don't know how long the microphone went off. So I believe that's the end for today, given it's not working anymore. In the future I will have something that is that have a lot more battery, so we will not have to worry about that later. Anyway, so thank you for watching, and yeah, I'll see you next time. I'm going to continue try to break 112 with this swing, and we'll see.